Hello, today we're going to do a comparison video. My mum and dad's old Trangia from 1980 with the Trangia set I bought last year in 2022. Just have a look if anything's changed. The basic set is pretty much identical, they look really similar. There's a few differences that we'll see. My mum and dad haven't used this for a couple of decades now. There's a nice frying pan. The pot stand is the same, the kettle looks the same. The first difference is the little strap. You can see there it's like riveted and bolted onto the side, whereas we'll see on the newer one that's not the case. There's the strap. Slightly different pattern on the new one, but it's basically the same and works in the same way. You can see there on the modern one, the strap holder's kind of punched out of the main body of the stand. We've got two saucepans, two pots, and then the stand and the windshield. Looks pretty similar. Again, there's a few differences. On the older one, it doesn't have the kind of catch mechanism to keep it on, so it just slots on in any direction. But if we look at the new one, you can see there are sort of three dimples, and you have to line that up to put the top on. So you see there's three bits where you have to locate it and then twist it round to lock it into position. So that means, you know, once they're joined, they're connected, whereas in the old one, it's just two separate pieces all the time. Let's have a look at the burners. Again, they look pretty much identical, but there's a few little changes. The old burner, the simmering is different. It's clipped on and sort of got a hinge and is sort of on or off. You can unscrew, but the actual fundamentals of the burner are pretty much identical. Again, this hasn't been used for a good while. Whereas my new one, the simmering, you can put it in multiple positions and it's completely detached from the actual burner. But the burner itself is identical. So much so that we can even take the lid from the new burner and it just screws straight on to the old one. Perfect fit. Let's have a light and see how they burn. Put a bit of meths in. One of the advantages of the old thing is it's really easy to lift the stand off, so you can fill it up really easily. Whereas on the new one, safety first, you have to twist it round to get access to the burner. You can see there actually the other big difference. My new one's got the hole for the gas burner. If you ever wanted to do that, that wasn't on the old one. Just light them up. It's a nice sunny day, so a bit hard to see the actual flames, but they're both burning now. You can see how the simmering on the old one has to kind of just flop inside. But it does mean it's easier to put on actually. You don't miss quite so often. The little grab handles, nearly identical. I almost forgot which was which. They completely similar in every respect. Felt the same in my hands. All the holes were in the same place. Doesn't look like they've changed at all. The kettles as well, the fundamental design is identical. Obviously the older one's been used a lot more, but The handle identical, everything. The only difference we could see was the lid on the newer one. It's not solid on the older one. It was a solid black knob on top. I think the old one had the plastic handle originally. That's just melted off. There they are. They're both burning. You can see just about that the older one seems to be burning a little more. We've got an infrared temperature sensor, and you can see there we're about 220 degrees. Bit hard to get a reliable measurement. Slightly cooler in the newer one, probably averaging around 190. Let's just check the old one again, and you see it's generally 220, 230. Not an exact science, but let's have a go. We will just try and boil some water. I put the same amount of water in each kettle. Make sure the old kettle's on the old burner. Again, we've got the old one on the left and the new one on the right as we're looking at them. And let's have a little burn. The pots, basically identical, couldn't see any difference really. They felt the same weight to them. Completely unchanged. The frying pans were a little different. The modern one had more of a lip to the rim, whereas the old one was a little sharper on the edge. They also quite a difference in their tonality. So if you just hear, as I clip them, you can see the older one there just rings out a bit more, with a bit more sustain. I don't know if that's actual science, but seems to be a bit different. We did measure the weight, and the modern one, the 2022 Trangia, 114 grams, so pretty light. The older one, a lot heavier, 220 grams. Not really much to worry about, but again, there's just a bit more mass there. We'll let them boil and see which one's quicker. And there we are, the old one is starting to steam and boil a little bit before the new one. So if you're really in a desperate rush for a cup of tea or coffee and you don't mind an extra 110 grams, get an old Trangia. But it really wasn't much difference. Both boiling away now. But yeah, the old one did boil first. So, given the old one was the winner, let's have a nice drink with some water from a 1980's Trangia. If you like this kind of content, please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. We've got more cooking videos coming up. Thanks for watching.